Hi guys, welcome to Becky V Tarot. A quick video today on Ascension. Someone messaged me, I swear, where were they from? They were from another country, just asking me questions about my Ascension and things, and if I just kind of, what I'd gone through and stuff. And I said I was going to make a video about it, but I just want to cross, there's two things I want to talk about. First one is, you can be awake but not ascended. Yeah, that is possible. Like, you could be awake in regards, like, you always know, like, you're aware, like, that the government and stuff, like, it's all dodgy, it can't be trusted. Your intuition, like, peaks and tells you things. Like, you can be awake, right, and you have that spiritual side, and you're aware, and you know about chakras and third eyes and higher self. Like, you can be awake and have all the information, like, study the information, but you can be awake and not ascended. Yeah, example being, right, when you've like gone through an ascension and it comes in levels, you reach a higher consciousness and a higher understanding of how everything works and just how you're all connected, etc, right? And you understand people, like, just, you understand, because you built up in levels, you got there with the help of the other side. So people, you can be awake, having all the information, but not having the ascension behind it. So example is, now, what for people that are awake, it's normally, like, imprinted into them, or you're in that part of their life purpose is to help, like, they're here to help other people wake up, because we have been fighting a war against good and evil. My son's probably about to shout at me now. 1 sec. Yes, I'm just doing a video, darling. You alright? Tell us yes. Oh fuck, what was I saying? Shit, whatever. So basically, yeah, you can be awake. Oh, an example being people that you're part of your life purpose and being awake, and you could be here is just to help other people be awake. There's been a war going on for many years against good and evil, and it literally is against good and evil, light and dark, okay? So you are here, some of you are here to help that, you know, to wake up and then help other people see, because the more people that are awake, the better, you know, we're fighting the war and we're winning, da da da, you know? But you can be awake, understand, but not ascended. So an example is people that don't get why some people don't understand. They don't have the higher consciousness to loop round and see things from the different viewpoints. Like, an example being, I would not sit down with a 2-year-old, yeah, and apply serious pressure and get angry when a 2-year-old doesn't get it, yeah? And just because I could be having a discussion with a 35-year-old who doesn't get it, it's no different. There's tons of different reasons, but their soul could be very young, you know, they could be in their, like, first life, so they're not, they when they come through, they haven't lived lots of lifetimes and done lots of stuff and, like, woke up a lot of times, so whatever, it's literally like talking to a child, but a really young one. And people that have ascended get that. They will not apply serious pressure. They will not be angry towards that person. They will not, they will not get in that, like, tit for tat, or they're like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you see? People that have ascended will not be like that, because they have higher consciousness, they have whole understanding. So they will discuss and give a little bit to try and make them see, but people that have ascended very, well, I don't know, I assume most of us, I mean, me ascending, I can pick up on, like, this person's not going to get it, like, straight away, or there's a bit of them, and so you try to steer and give them bits, like, not too much, don't want to overwhelm them, because they're not on high consciousness, their brain won't be able to cope. The same way, before I went through my awakening ascension, my brain wouldn't have been able to cope with everything. I didn't just wake up one day and it was like, bang, now you know it all. You can't. It's why you go through an ascension through different levels, because your mind would be blown too much, you know? So people's ascensions last longer and different, you know, different time frames, different, but everyone the same. Everyone that's ascended will say it comes in levels. Yeah, everyone will say that. But yeah, and that's the truth. You can be awake but not ascended, and not have that understanding of like other people are here for different things, and you can't, all you can do is give the bit, hope. Same when I give my readings, I'm a psychic medium. Like some people that are more like awake than others, like I can give them their reading, and then I can give them a little bit of like, okay, so I want you to go away and just want you to get some sage. What I want you to do is make sure this, and I'll explain it. Like I need you to, I always say about grounding, but I will go a bit more in depth. Like this is why I'm asking, like telling you should do this. Like it will be good for you and your energy in this way. Da da da. But then sometimes there's people that aren't, like they've come for a reading, they're really not awake. They don't know much at all about the other side, and you know, like energies and how we're all connected and this and that. So I can't overwhelm them. I can give them the guidance, because my readings are very, very, very much a lot of guidance. I can give them that, but then I'll feed them a little bit, and I won't go too in depth. I will just keep it minimal, the same way you would if I'm explaining something to a 20-year-old and something to a 6-year-old. It's not going to be the same. I can kind of get the same basis and explain it a little bit. I'm going to go more in depth and go around different routes with a like 20-year-old, and with a like 7-year-old I'm going to just keep it basic, not too much information, but going to kind of try and get them there, yeah? And that's literally the same. So I'm just kind of, yeah, telling people, because you can be awake but not ascended, and that's very different, because you haven't, yeah, you understand more, you've reached higher consciousness, so you get it. Because I see people that, you know, they're doing an amazing job at waking people up, but then, and telling information on whatever, like on social media and stuff, but then they get really angry, like too angry with people that can't, and you can't get in the tit for tat. Or if you're able to, like I actually had it with someone via Facebook. They were going, it was just too much, and I just said, and I was being like, we was in a bit of a like back and forth, but it wasn't aggressive. That person was getting a bit irate, but I was explaining, no, you can't, you have to just have your faith and trust. And I was trying to explain it on the ascended way, like, no, you kind of just have to have this, and then like you wasn't given all that information, so you go out and fight the whole world on your own. It's so you have the understanding, so things can come in on your path, and then you know like how to take that, because you have the understanding. That person comes in and you can give that information, so you've shared the information, you know, but you're not banging like aggressively like raw. But this, it was a tit for tat, but I was saying, well then that, like I was trying to explain that, and the person was getting more and more like irate, but then even like it was like, okay, like they even ended it with saying like, I like your energy. It's like, oh yeah, because I'm trying to show you like this is what it's for, this is how it's supposed to be. You can't scream and kick and shout at a 2-year-old if they don't understand, you know, you can't. You give the information in a slightly minimalistic way and keep guiding them. Let them plant it a bit, let it grow. Like I get people I give a reading to, and then they come back to me 9 months later, they took my guidance, they've moved through, and when they come back to me, I can feel they're very much more aware and awake and starting to get things. They've taken the time. Like I always say to people, go and raise your vibration, go and look it up, look up The Secret, look up manifestation, and then they'll come to me and they're starting to understand more, so ask more questions. And that's like, yes, because I'm not going against like this, but I'm letting them and feeding it, you know, feeding that little bit of rope, and then waiting for them to take it, and then their guides will have them swoop back around because they need some more information, or I can help guide them. And that's how you've got to play it, yeah? Yes, you're open, you speak, you pump the light, you pump that energy against the dark, you're waking people up, but you can't be massively aggressive against people that don't understand. You have to learn. I get it. I get people like I'd say, like, share things and they laugh and they make a comment. So what do? No, they don't understand. They don't understand. It's fine. So I just block them. It's not worth my time, not worth my energy. Like, you're gonna get them everywhere. I literally had someone messaging me like trying to make out like I'm just having a laugh and I make stuff up. Like, can I really be psychic? And I was trying to explain how you're sending me this message from phone to phone, yeah, that like don't want to go into scientific, I can't think of that, I don't really know the scientific words, but how that like energy source pumps and it flows through the wires, yeah, and then you're it's literally exactly the same. I'm literally reading your energy, I'm tapping into your energy, and it's coming through like that a connection the same way my phone is, like. But I'm not going to go into huge detail. And I wrote a few messages, like not long, just saying it's exactly the same as how you're sending me this message via iPhone to iPhone now, like this is that, it's no different, like it really is no different. But I said to him, I don't have to explain myself to someone that doesn't know or understand, that hasn't been through an ascension, but I send you love and light and wish you all the best, and I block them. That's ascension. You've got to understand, yeah, that there is a difference, and take your time. You know, I don't know. Right, I'm 30. I've lived a few past lives. I'm a light worker. I know this. I can do things, but I don't know everything. It comes at me, I get downloads, but I don't know everything. Like, I just work through and trust my guys and get where I need to go and where I'm supposed to be. And I go off my experiences and my things, but I'm always open to being like, open to understanding that things can be different for other people. The same way as like my ascension came through the twin flame, awakening twin flame journey. That's what I've gone through. But other people, I think you can bring on ascension if you're ready to roll. I think you can, like if you start researching. Obviously, there's going down the rabbit hole, which is a huge part of it. I went down the rabbit hole many years, like fucking at least like 15 or 10 years ago, way before I was like awake, like properly awake, and I like started to on my twin flame journey. But yeah, and as for like the ascension and that guy that was messaging me, how do I explain ascension? Well, all I can do is kind of give you my hit. I know that everyone, like, is it bad? I don't know. I have my own knowing, and I trust my downloads and my guidance and what I know. So I don't read hundreds of books and stuff like that. It's so great to read if you're someone that does, like, and you can get all the information. That's amazing. Like, I work better via like YouTube videos, and I just working with my guides and what they download me, and I just have a knowing for lots of stuff, and I trust that. But yeah, like I said, mine was via the twin flame journey. Like, they tried to wake me up 3 months after I had a situation, like I got left. I weren't having it, I weren't in a good place, and they let me crack on for a year and a bit, building more physical side of it. Like, I hadn't worked on me, but I was building more my physical 3D life, like more self-care and all that shit. And then they swooped in, and it was like, now's the time, when I was ready or whatever, and I took it on, and that's it. And then that was it. So I woke up in that second of watching the video. I cried for like 7 hours, because it was like, oh. And when you understand it, like, that makes sense, you know, like you've come through to the other side. You have a whole, you know, when you're fully aware of you're fully conscious on the other side, so you know all the different lives that you're living, and you understand it, and you understand why you're here. And then when you come through that, and then you're born and you don't have memory, like it, and you have all that separation anxiety, because you are separate. You're separate from source. You're here. This part of your soul is here living this life. And yeah, it is. So when you wake up, as much as you are now you're starting the process, you are gonna cry, because it's hitting you. You're waking up. Where have you been? What's going on? The reality. Like, I really miss being back, you know, there. Like, and I'm here, and it's a lot. So that's, yeah, I woke up, I cried for like 7 hours or something, and then it came the dark night of the soul, which was shedding, which for me, it's like, well, I've been through a couple of them, but the first one lasted a good, I think it was a couple of months or a month or something. Yeah, it was just basically like a depression. Like, you're now facing the dark sides of you and the dark bits in your soul, but with your consciousness is now starting to see things differently, and so your body's like changing now. Your mind, your consciousness, everything's now changing. It's extremely exhausting. I remember being exhausted, working for 2 hours, coming home and needing naps. Like, your body is just, your mind, everything, because you are now raising your vibration, everything's changing. So I went through that, and then yeah, it was just levels. Like, it literally, like, I could not explain it better than levels. Like, you level up. Like, so then I was pulled towards tarot. So I started using tarot for myself, like, and my, like, tapping, like, seeing things on my twin flame, and then playing around. Well, I say playing around, it was very serious for me. Being awake and ascended is very serious for me. Like, keep my energy completely pure, completely. I am a vegan. I would never ever and I wasn't vegan for like the most of my life. I've only been vegan for the past couple of years since I ascended and woke up, and my guide showed me like you have to be vegan, and I would never ever go back. I sit there in front of fucking cheese. I used to love cheese so much, like eating all this amazing cheese, and I'm like, oh, like when my boyfriend is like eating all this amazing burger, like I'm not kidding myself. I sit there like, oh my god, I would just like want to bite that, but I would never would. Why? Because I'm truly grateful for my awakening. I'm truly grateful for my ascension, for understanding, working for my guides. Like, I will never do that, and they know that, and they're actually clapping right now and giving me the like, yeah. They're also being a bit sarcastic because it's like, woo, but whatever. Yeah. So it was, yeah. So come out of the dark night, then so it begins the levels, and I can't give you a time schedule. Like I said, it's different for everyone. The same way completing different things is different for everyone in every format. Whenever you reach a certain point, probably when you clear a certain amount of dark energy, then comes the next level. I played around with the tarot, started being able to like trust my intuition. Sorry, I haven't got a hair in my mouth. Then yeah, like one of my other friends that is like, see, she's awake. I don't know if no, I wouldn't say she's properly ascended because she doesn't have that proper higher consciousness. But she's older than me, and she's the one that gave me confidence. You know, she told me like, you've got it, and made me give her like a short, not reading, but yeah, like see what I could see. And then that was it. I just went with it, and I got the confidence, and then gradually like I'd play around. I just got better with understanding, trusting my intuition, and then I'd level up. Like I'd learn what I'm seeing. Like when before I proper woke up, I used to smoke, and this is just one example, I kept just seeing like in my imagination, because that's the best way for me to describe it. Like when I see things, when I tap in, it's in your imagination, because your mind, your consciousness is all and everything. It's not just in your imagination, it's everything. And I used to see like being stubbed out a cigarette, and that was how I learned like, oh, this is my guides like showing me like, you got to give up smoking, shit like that. So I started figuring that out, like, oh, like that's them giving me a message. Like this isn't just my mind randomly, that's them. And then once I opened that door, I opened the door with my guides, and then that whole thing, like our contact, like them giving me messages, me being like, oh, and then just talking back to them. That's another level up, bang, because now me and them are like bang bang, do you know what I mean? I've got that door open. So that was another level. Then obviously you get and then I'm getting downloads, so now I'm starting to understand how the world really works, and how energy is just everywhere and everything, and why I have to be vegan. Like I have to be, because I see, feel, read energy, and I'm going to do this for other people to help them in their life. And how can I eat a fucking cow that's been slaughtered, right? Eat a cow or any other one that's been slaughtered, right? When that cow, all that negative, awful, dark energy, it's been killed, murdered, or whatever, or it's dead, or whatever, yeah, that energy going into me, whether it lived a lovely, happy life, then died, yeah. Example being, so it lived a lovely, happy life, and then I eat it. What I'm doing is I'm putting a live energy into my body. That's messing me up. I'm my energy, yeah? And I'm gonna try and read your energy, tap into it. If I put that in, that's gonna mess it up, it's gonna clog it up. What? And now I've got some other fucking animal live, that's gonna rock it, like. So, that also, but then when you have the dark that's been slaughtered for a slaughtered house, and this and that, and it's back, and then I put that in B, oh, I can't. How can you do that? What? And then I'm trying to read. One, I can't even do that anyway. The whole point of my ascension is working on my energy, clearing it, going through clearing. I cleared my ancestral karma. I cleared it. Woo. Like that was hard. That was graft. But I cleared it. Like, and then what? I'm gonna go and eat? No. So yeah, this is what I mean. Like it comes in levels, and then I'm understanding. Like, oh, I can't. No, I can't do that. Like, and I remember towards the beginning, it was very much I was on my own. I was too scared to talk about, like, all my family are going to judge me. What are they going to say when I'm vegan? They're going to be like, what? Why? I've spent all my life like just eating meat, drinking and smoking. Who the fuck is this person? And then gradually as you get more and more, you're just like, this is me. This is who I'm supposed to be, and this is who I am. And then you don't care. It's just like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. But that's growth. That's work. You work to that. there's just so many levels. And then you're like, there's not a final, like, you grow. Everyone, you can, the whole time you're here, you grow and you learn. Yeah, you grow in your soul and you grow. That you have to be open-minded, because I will hear a bit of information and it'll be like, oh, okay, that's something else I've learned. Like, and sometimes someone can give me a bit of information and I'll feel like, oh, part of it makes sense, and then my guides will show me, and then that bit will click around for me, and then that's right for me and that makes sense for me, but the other bit doesn't, and that's fine. Same way with people like being vegan. I'm vegan for that reason, the energy, and that's how I understand it. And there's other people that are vegan because they're so like animals, and which is amazing and great, but that's not my reasoning behind it. But they have a different understanding to it and why they are that way, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong. I'm not going to fight them against it. It's just that's what works for them, you know. And I do believe, as much as when you ascend and you go through and you have that understanding, I do think different people, maybe it's like different beings. Like, I'm a light worker from a certain place, and then you have other beings from a certain place. Maybe it's to do with that, like your guides give you what's going to help you and is clear for you to understand and to work through, yeah, and for you to get it. Other people might be like yeah, like the vegan thing is like, because animals are such a pure light and they're a living thing, and how can you do that? Like, how could you eat it for them? And I don't agree with it in that part. I'm not saying like it is awful, you shouldn't be, we're not here to eat animals, you know. And that bullshit about why you got the pointy teeth is all about seeds. Yeah, we eat seeds and nuts, right, that grow as plant-based, so don't give me that bullshit. Yeah, so I'm not saying anyone's wrong. I'm saying you get different sides, different bits, because that's what they're here for, and that's what they're working through, and that's what their guides give them to pump on. Yeah, everyone that is ascended or like will understand that the energy, and it's all energy. Like, when you reach higher consciousness, that's what you get. Like, you reach it. That's what you're given. You have the downloads. Like, that's not gonna come in a different manner at all. Just, I think different things like being vegan they just give you however it's going to work for you as the being that you are. But yeah, that you're always growing, always learning, always like things that come back around. And I'm like, oh, okay, now that I'm more ascended, I will get something that's come back, and obviously now I'm ready to get like this side of it. So something they showed me in small that I was like, oh, okay, I get that. It will come back round, like could be a year later or whatever, and then I get another angle, and it's like, oh, so it's like a deeper understanding of it. Yeah, so I mean, it's just levels after levels. Like, I explained about one time that I don't know if it was my guides or whatever, but they came to me and they were like, we're gonna, because I was taking it very well. It was clear many lifetimes I've woken up and done like my thing, because it just was like bang, it was coming to me very quickly. Like, they were gonna take it in a step, like you need to be vegetarian, and then they wouldn't, and I knew it was coming, and I was like, and then they were gonna make me jump to vegan, but it was like, I just was like, nah, mate, jumping straight to vegan, shit like that. So I was just taking it on the head, like, trust, yeah, or just like, bosh, getting this, doors open to guides, what they say goes, okay, cool, vision, yeah, I see that, I see what you're saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this, trusting, channeling the light coming through me. Like, so there was one time when they were just like, we're gonna jump you up like in 2 levels in one hit. Like, obviously they was like, you have to kind of give us the okay, and I was like, yeah, sure. And they just told me to lay on my back, and I could feel my heart chakra like, whew, I don't know what was going on, what needed, whatever, but I was like, okay, and they did it. It wasn't like I woke up feeling like a different person. I think it's the same when you level up, like, you're releasing past energy and past certain ways, and the new stuff comes in. So I think you just kind of like, it creeps in. It's like when you're working through an old cycle that's technically finished. So you finish an old cycle and you're into a new one, but you're still shedding that last bit of energy. It doesn't just like, oh, I'm in a new cycle now. It's like, it gradually comes in. And I think it's like that when you reach up a level. It gradually comes in. You're like, oh, I can do this now. Like, I get this now. So yeah. But you're forever growing, forever reaching a higher level, if you like. Yeah, different people, different stories. But that's pretty much the basis of it. But yes, you can be awake, but you can be not ascended. And I push everyone to always try to understand, like, being grounded and opening the door to letting your guides show you, and opening that door. And the message is, they're always trying to talk to you. They're always giving you stuff. Like, yeah, for me, it's just like 2 seconds and like whatever. Like, right now they're going to me time because there'll be a reason. Maybe my phone's going to cut off in 5 minutes, so they need to just like tell me time, or maybe because if the video goes on too long, not people ain't going to want to watch it, you know. But other times, you know, if you're not at that point, they'll be giving you messages of what way to go. Like, just open your eyes. It's always there. They're always trying to work through you and help you. But yes, I'm going to go now. But I send you guys so much love and light. Bye.